promise that you'll catch me.
Hey guys, Jazz back with another video. In this video, I'm basically going to go over the top 5 picks because it's one of the most anticipated drafts, I believe, because there's going to be a lot of craziness and a lot of quarterbacks going really high, a lot of big name quarterbacks going really high. And plus, you got 2 New York teams up there battling out, so it's an East Coast bias, you know what I mean? I live in the East Coast, so I know in the sports talk radio, they're going crazy over who to get, what's going to happen, who's trading up, who's trading down, all these different scenarios. We're getting this player, we're trading down, picking up all these picks, so I want to go through every team in the top 5, which is 4 teams because the Browns have 2 of those picks, and just analyze what their dream scenarios are, what most likely will happen, and what I would do in this if I were that team in that scenario. Because I think they'll choose players that I wouldn't, because I'm hearing certain players are really, like, certain teams are eyeing certain players really hard that I don't think will be a good fit or necessarily the best player available at that position, in my opinion. So we might differ on who to actually take. We might take the same position, or maybe we'll take a different position. Maybe I don't value a certain position. So we're going to get right into that. And we're going to break down the Browns pick, the Giants pick, the Jets pick, and the Broncos pick in this year's first round. All right, guys, to start it off, we're going to start off with the Browns and work our way down. So we can, once we know what the Browns are pretty much looking to do, what might happen, then we can start breaking down every other scenario for every other team in the top 5. So we're going to start with the top and work our way down. Obviously, we're going to work in both of the Browns picks here because I think their logic of picking where and who kind of fits in with, you know, basically both of their picks, the logic of what they're actually trying to pick. So obviously, they have a ton of needs. This team has won 1 game in the last 2 seasons. They are 1-31. Terrible. Never seen a team this bad. And I mean, I'm a St. Louis Rams fan. I've seen some pretty bad teams in the last decade. But team's pretty bad, but they are very talented. In this offseason, they have gotten veteran quarterback, running back. They're looking a lot better. They're definitely not going to win 1 game this year, I don't think, unless something really crazy happens. But I think they're going to be a much improved team. So I think they're going to use these picks to pick players for down the future, basically pillars for their team. I think what they want to happen, the Browns' dream scenario is that they take the quarterback they want with the first pick, and with the 4th pick, they take Saquon Barkley. They're really high on Saquon Barkley, and there's teams under them that are trying to send smoke screens that they're going to take Saquon Barkley to try to force their hand to draft Saquon Barkley with the first pick, not the 4th one, with the first one, and then take the quarterback later if they like a bunch of quarterbacks. In my opinion, that is not the way to go. You take the quarterback you have strong convictions on, and you take that quarterback and you just play the lottery and hope that your guy is still there on the 4th pick, which I think he will be. And I don't think I would take that player. But I think what the Browns want to happen is that they take either Josh Allen, which I'm hearing rumors of Josh Allen. I'm not a big Josh Allen guy. I think that they're going to take their quarterback, which is most likely going to be Sam Darnold. But I'm hearing rumblings of Josh Allen, but most likely Sam Darnold. And with the 4th pick, they want to take Saquon Barkley. I believe that's how the draft is going to break down. I think if they take Sam Darnold, with the 4th pick, Saquon Barkley will be there and they'll get their guy. So I think the dream scenario is probably going to happen. I think the Browns are going to get their way. Now, if I were the Browns, what I would do in this scenario, I'll take Sam Darnold with the 1st pick. With the 4th pick, I'll take Nick Chubb. I don't want a running back. I don't really value running backs that high. I am a Rams fan. Todd Gurley was the offensive player of the year, but out of all the players whose contracts are up, the one player I'm not willing to give a huge deal to, long-term deal, is Todd Gurley, because running backs, I'm sorry to say, are not that valuable. They're a dime a dozen. Once Jared Goff develops even more, it'll be less need for Todd Gurley. So I don't value running backs that much. Once you get that you want that franchise quarterback. He sets the franchise up to be a playoff team year and year and basically every year. What did Todd Gurley do before, Jared Goff? I'm not trying to go off on the Rams thing. He had a terrible season. Once Jared Goff was actually producing at a high level at quarterback play, it allowed lanes to open up for Todd Gurley. So quarterbacks are very valuable. So I would take the quarterback, and then with the next one, I'd probably go a pass rusher. I value pass rushers as the 2nd most important position on a team, and might as well get another one after Garrett. All right, with the 2nd pick in the NFL draft this year, we have the New York Football Giants. And a lot of people think that they might take Saquon Barkley. Over here on the East Coast, I live in New Jersey, real close to Giant Stadium, well, MetLife now. and everybody's really wants that Saquon Barkley. Like I said, I'm not a fan of drafting running backs this high. What I think the Giants' dream scenario is that the Browns get scared off, take Saquon Barkley with the first overall pick, and that lets them get their guy, Sam Darnold, and they will draft their quarterback of the future, quarterback that will lead them into the next 10 to 15 years, Sam Darnold. I don't believe that's going to be the case. I believe the Browns will call them on their bluff. They'll take Sam Darnold, and the Giants will wind up trading down. The most likely scenario is that the Giants will trade down and will pick up a ton of picks from either the Broncos, Dolphins, Bills, one of those teams. And if you get a future pick from one of those teams next year, those teams could potentially be really bad, especially like the Bills and the Dolphins. They have potential to be really bad next year, this coming season, and you'll get a first-round pick for next year that's going to be a really high pick, which you probably will be able to get your quarterback that you actually desire then. Now, if you're still high on one of the other quarterbacks, if you were high on more than one, or maybe Josh Allen wasn't your not Josh Allen. Well, maybe they take Josh Allen and you get Sam Darnold anyway. That can happen as well. Many different scenarios. If they take Josh Allen, you can get your Sam Darnold. Now, if they take Sam Darnold, you don't like any of the other quarterbacks, then you just trade down, pick up a bunch of picks. You don't take a running back here. You don't take a guard here. And I do know that the GM was actually part of the Panthers organization last year, which took Christian McCaffrey, like number 8 or 9. I forget which pick he was. I know they took a running back pretty high. But again, the Giants are in a different position than the Panthers, where the Panthers have their franchise quarterback for the next 5 to 8 years. They didn't need to draft a quarterback. So then running back is just a skill position to help better your quarterback. And then that case makes sense. That's why it kind of makes sense what the Browns are doing by taking their quarterback 1 and then giving him a piece to play with, somebody to help protect them and help guide them through these next coming years. So I don't believe the Giants are in that situation. Eli, at best, has 2 years left in him. In my opinion, Eli is done. They need to move on and they need to find the future. Hopefully, a quarterback that they desire is actually their number 2 and they're able to take him. If not, I believe they will be trading out of this pick. With the 3rd pick in the NFL draft this coming season, the New York Jets are up. I believe that the New York Jets know exactly who they're taking. I believe they're going to get their dream scenario because they forced their dream scenario. They moved up to the number 3 pick. You only trade up all those assets to do one thing and one thing only, and that is to draft a quarterback. And I believe they know who they're drafting because a team is not going to go up to number 3 and be like, we'll just be happy with any quarterback that falls to us. I believe the Jets knew who they were targeting, and they knew who they were targeting would not go in the first 2 picks. Now, if you go back to when they actually did this is before the quarterbacks actually had their pro days. This is way back. They moved up knowing that the quarterback they were taking, and the 2 quarterbacks that were getting mentioned at the top was Rosen and Sam Darnold, and a little sprinkle of Josh Allen. Baker Mayfield is not a quarterback that was ever mentioned in the top 2 picks. I believe the New York Jets are really high on Baker Mayfield, and that's why they moved up to number 3, because they knew moving up to number 3, no team in the top 2 that was going to take draft in the top 2 was going to touch Baker Mayfield. I believe they've been targeting Baker Mayfield. They moved up specifically to number 3, knowing that he would be there, and I think that's what they're going to do. I think the Jets are going to take Baker Mayfield. I think that's their dream scenario, and I think that's the most likely outcome, unless something crazy happens. But I believe they've targeted Baker Mayfield as their guy, and they knew they'll be able to get him at number 3. And I think that's what will happen on Thursday. All right, guys, so we have here the Denver Broncos at the number 5 position. They have the 5th overall pick in this year's draft, and I think they are sitting pretty. I believe if they just stand packed and just hope for chaos, which it could possibly happen, they'll get the pick out of 2 quarterbacks they probably really like. So that's probably a good case scenario for them because there's probably 2 quarterbacks that might fall to them that they really like. Obviously, they don't necessarily need to get a quarterback. They could take, other teams could take their quarterbacks and they'll be happy with Chubb, a cornerback, a safety, or something other than, a defensive player, a guard, or something like that. They could take any. Basically, I think they should not be trying to move up. I believe they should just stand packed, and one of the good players will drop to them. And maybe they'll have a pick of a lot of good players if certain things break right. Now, what I think their dream scenario is that Sam Darnold goes number 1. The Giants take Saquon Barkley number 2. The Jets take Baker Mayfield number 3. And then, like, the Browns take Chubb. So now they have 2 quarterbacks they probably like in Rosen and in Josh Allen there for their picking. Or if they want to go with the guard, any other position. So they have their pick And if they want to, they can now flip that pick and trade down with the Dolphins, with the Bills, if they want one of those quarterbacks. So I think if they sit tight, they'll have a good scenario to actually trade down or get a player they really, really were high up on and not have to necessarily go up and get that player. The player will actually fall to them. What I think is most likely going to happen is the picks that I've told you guys. I think the Giants are going to trade down and somebody's going to trade up to get a quarterback there. I think Sam Darnold's going number 1. There's a quarterback. Whoever trades up, they're going to take quarterback number 2. Baker Mayfield is going number 3. Saquon Barkley is going number 4. And then they're going to have their pick of Chubb, Kilpatrick, or just trading down or taking the guard. They have their options. I believe they're sitting pretty. I think they should just stand packed, wait, see what drops to them. If there's something that really, really interests them that drops to them, take it. If not, trade down, get some picks. Because, again, they don't necessarily need a quarterback. They have a decent quarterback, maybe. I mean, they should start looking for a quarterback of the future. If he drops down to them, take it. I wouldn't force the hand and move up and take him. I would just stand packed, trade down if nothing really good falls to you. Draft if something really good falls to you. So I think they're sitting pretty. They should just stay where they're at. Don't trade up. Trade down possibly and just draft the best player available for your team there. I believe it'll be Chubb. I think how the first now I'm just going to wrap this up with a little bow. First 5 picks, in my opinion, Sam Darnold. Somebody's going to trade up for Rosen. Baker Mayfield. Number 4 is Saquon Barkley. And number 5 is Nick Chubb. I think that's how the first 5 picks will break down. Again, guys, down below, leave comments what you think is going to happen, what you think certain teams really want. Don't agree with me, agree with me. Just let me know down in the comments. I want to get into a little, back and forth with you guys. So basically, just let me know what you think, how things are going to break down. Let's find out who's right come Thursday. That's the beauty of this. We all have our opinions and whatnot, but craziness or madness can happen Thursday and everything can get shaken up. So I'm really looking forward to this draft. Hopefully you guys are too. So just let me know down below what you think your top 5 picks are going to be. If you got some trade scenarios or whatnot, just let me know. That is pretty much it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, please make sure to leave a like down below. If you're new to the channel, please make sure to subscribe. Till next time, guys.